Shalom, how's everyone doing? Today is day 27 of the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, and we'll be learning Siman Daled Seif Gimel. Okay, the Kitzur starts off and he says, Lo yipaneh ba'amida. When one goes gedolim, he shouldn't go standing up. Velo yanos l'chok atzmo yosmidai. And he shouldn't force himself too much. Shelo yinatek shinei karkashta. So you shouldn't cause the muscles over there to tear. A person shouldn't leave the bathroom until it's clear to him that he doesn't have to go anymore. When one goes ketanim standing up, a person should be careful that he shouldn't get any drops on his clothes or his shoes. And a person should be very careful when he's using the bathroom that he doesn't hold his makom milah. Okay, so the Kitzur talks about a few things over here. One thing he talks about is that he says you shouldn't strain yourself excessively when you go to the bathroom. That's a Gemara. That's a Gemara in Masechus Shabbos, Daf Pei Beis. Basically, the Gemara says that you shouldn't strain yourself too much. Rashi explains that you shouldn't sit down quickly. You shouldn't be so stressfully because you're going to cause a tear. Okay, fine. That's one thing he talks about. The next thing he talks about when you go to the bathroom, you shouldn't, when you go ketanim, you shouldn't get anything on your clothes. You shouldn't hold the makom milah. But he says that if you look in Siman Kuf Nun Aleph in the Kitzur, that's where he's really talks about this at length. So we're not going to deal with that right now. What we will deal with is something that we missed out yesterday. Something that was important to say yesterday. Something that Shulchan Aruch quotes, the Kitzur doesn't quote it. But yesterday we were talking a little bit about the direction you're supposed to go when you use the bathroom. Right? So what did we say yesterday? We said that when one uses the bathroom, one goes gedolim specifically, he's supposed to face north or south, not east or west. Why? Because we said the Shechina's b'mayr, the Shechina's in the west. So if one goes to the bathroom and his back is to the west, then he's going to the bathroom in the same direction as the Shechina. That's inappropriate. And you said you can't go to the east either because the east also has kedusha since it's opposite the west. But there's something else that the Shulchan Aruch says. The Shulchan Aruch, after he brings down the halacha that you can't go to the bathroom facing east to west, he then says you can't sleep. You're not allowed to sleep from east to west. So let's talk about that a little bit. Let's see if that's true. So there is a Gemara, Maseches Brachos, Daf Hey Amud Beis. It quotes Abba ben Yamin. Abba ben Yamin said, Kol Yemahi Yisim Etzdair, that there was a few things that Abba ben Yamin was very particular about, and he was he was distressed about it, that he should follow these things. And one of the things is, Almi Tasi Shetei Nesuna ben Safon L'Daram. He was very particular that his bed should be facing north and south, not east and west. And then the Gemara says that anybody who does this will be zocher to have male children. That will be his reward. So the question is why? Why is that so important to face north and south? So if you look in Rashi there, Rashi says that this Gemara is specifically talking about somebody who is sleeping together with his wife. Right? So Rashi says, just like there's a halacha that when one uses the bathroom, when one goes gedolim, he cannot face east or west, because it's not respectful to the Shechina. So too, when somebody's having tashma shemitah with his wife, it's the same thing. It's not respectful to the Shechina to face east or west. So that's what Rashi says. So it's clear from Rashi. This is not a halacha about anybody who goes to sleep. This is only talking about somebody who's going to be together with his wife. Rashi says that. Tosfos says that. So okay, that's okay. However, the Beis Yosef points out the Rambam doesn't say that. All the Rambam does, the Rambam brings down that a person shouldn't face east or west when he goes to sleep, even by himself, right? Why do we think the Rambam says that? We'll see why. But that's what the Rambam says, right? The Rambam says that even a person going to sleep normally cannot face east or west. How do we hold? Do we hold like Rashi and Tosfos says it's just a halach if you're together with your wife, or is it even a din if you're just sleeping by yourself? So Beis Yosef says the Olam is noheg like Tosfos. But do you know why? It's because they don't know the Rambam. Right? This is a Rambam in Hilchos Beis Bechir. This Rambam is in the halachos when he deals with halachos dealing with the Beis Hamikdash. And the Beis Yosef says, very few people learn halachos of the Beis Hamikdash. They just don't. So they don't know this halach of the Rambam. Therefore he says, we should be careful about this Rambam, that even if somebody's sleeping alone, he still should not position his bed facing east or west. Right, so it's no surprise if you look in the Shulchan Aruch says Asur. It's forbidden to sleep facing east or west if you're together with your wife. And it's good to be careful if you're sleeping alone not to face east or west. So what's pshat behind the Rambam? Why does the Rambam hold that even if you're alone you can't face east or west? What's so disrespectful to the Shekhinah? So if you look in the Aruch the Aruch Chaim explains the Rambam, and the Mishnah quotes this, that the Rambam is only talking about somebody who's sleeping without any clothes on. Right, he's sleeping without any clothes on. So since he's sleeping without any clothes on, that's why it's disrespectful to the Shekhinah to face east or west. Right? But if somebody's wearing clothes, then the Rambam would not say it is asur to face east or west. Okay, fine. So the Taz is a question here. The Taz says, well, what's the whole problem? What's the whole problem? Yesterday we learned that you're not allowed to go to the bathroom facing east or west. But there was an exception to the halacha. What's the exception? If you're going to the bathroom in a walled area. And that's what Shulchan Aruch holds. If you're going to the bathroom in a walled area, you're actually allowed to face east or west. And he says, well, think about it. When somebody goes to sleep at night, he's together with his wife, he's not with his wife, whatever shita you want to hold, but there's always walls. Right? There's always walls. So why are we more machmir when it comes to sleeping than we are with regards to going to the using the bathroom? So that's why the Taz actually wants to say, no. That Shulchan Aruch is a tzarchian. Why he says it's asur to sleep facing east or west? Because there are walls, right? So the Taz actually holds that this is not like this not we don't really have to be so mindful about this halacha because we sleep in a place that has walls. And even the case of if you look in the Gemara, right, this was maybe a special chumrah that Abba ben Yemen had, but it's not right for Shulchan Aruch to say it's asur to sleep from east to west, right? Because it shouldn't be asur because we sleep in a walled area, right? Maybe Abba ben Yemen in the Gemara for some reason had a special chumrah, but it shouldn't be something that we actually have to follow. So that's what the Taz says. However, is there any way we can answer this question of the Taz? Is there any difference that we allow walls as a heter by a bathroom, but not by going to sleep at night? So the Magen Avram says, no, there's a big difference between going to the bathroom and going to sleep at night. What's the difference? He says, when somebody goes to sleep at night, there's leka haker b'mechitzos, the dark b'kach. Right? Why is it okay to go to the bathroom facing east or west if there are walls? It's because the only problem of going to the bathroom east or west is because you're not showing cover to the Shekhinah. If you're doing something special, you're going to a place that has walls, you're going to the bathroom in a place that has walls, you show that you're caring about the Shekhinah. You're caring about the Shekhinah, and that's why you're going to a covered place. However, when somebody goes to sleep, when somebody's going to bed, since it's so normal for it to have walls, you're not doing something to show that you're having covered with the Shekhinah. Therefore, there's still going to be an isser to face east or west. That's one difference he gives. And the second difference he gives is it makes more sense to give cover to the Shekhinah in a bedroom than a bathroom. Alright? Because a bedroom is a place that, the Shekhinah could be there. The Shekhinah has less of a presence in the bathroom, actually. That's why there's a halacha, that, not really a halacha, but there's an idea that the malachim that are with us all day, when it comes to the bathroom, we go in ourselves. The malachim don't want to go. It's not a place of the Shekhinah. It's not a place of the Shekhinah. Okay, but what are we going to say? We're going to say, why not be machmir? Right? Shouldn't that be what we should say? Right? Even though the Taz says, even when one is with his wife, he could be mekel and face east or west, but why not be choshesh for the other shitos, like the Magen Avram and the Shulchan Aruch, who is machmir? So I'll tell you why. That everyone here, the Bach, the Taz, Magen Avram, they all quote the Zohar. What does the Zohar say? The Zohar says that when a person goes to sleep at night, he should face east or west. Right? That's what the Zohar says. Right, so our Gemara says that when you go to sleep at night, you shouldn't face east or west. But the Zohar says you should. And the Yavitz quotes the Chacham Tzvi, who says, we should follow the Zohar over the Gemara. We should follow the Zohar over the Gemara. So that's a little interesting. usually when the Zohar says one thing, the Gemara says another thing, we always follow the Gemara. So why in this case are we going to follow the Zohar according to the Chacham Tzvi? So the Yavitz deals with this and he says, what does our Gemara say? Our Gemara says that you're supposed to position your bed from north to south. Right? That's what the Gemara says. So we've been learning that to mean, one side of the bed is the north, the other side is the south. And we thought it was talking about the length of the bed. No, maybe the Gemara is talking about the width of the bed. And maybe our Gemara is saying the same thing as the Zohar. Maybe it's saying the same thing, that the Zohar means the length of the bed should be from east to west, and our Gemara is talking about the width of the bed, and our Gemara actually agrees that the length of the bed should actually be from east to west. And the Yavitz also gives Peshat behind the Zohar, that he says that the Zohar says specifically our head should be to the west, to show that when we go to sleep at night, we're bowing our head to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we're bowing our head to the Shekhinah. And that's maybe the source behind the Zohar. So, fine. So what do we have here? We have, our Gemara says, you should face north and south. The Zohar is saying you should face east or west. Maybe our Gemara is saying the same thing as Zohar. How do we hold? What's the maskana about the positions of the bed? So, if you look at the Mishabura says, we have what our Gemara says, right? So we're going to take our Gemara. Our Gemara Kipshuto. That when somebody is with his wife, the bed should for sure be from north to south. And when he's not with his wife, maybe he should be choshish for the Rambam, at least if he's sleeping without any clothes, like the Aruch Chaim said. And also in that case, it should be facing north and south. But if you look in the Aruch Shulchan, the Aruch Shulchan says the Gemara says one thing, the Zohar says another thing. The Zohar possibly could be saying like our Gemara. And then obviously we have the Taz in there who holds the whole Gemara is just like a nice thing, it's not a real din. So he says, this whole halacha has really gone away. People position the bed in any position they want, and he says that's okay. That's just what has happened. What do the modern day poskim say about this? So Rav Chaim Kanievsky, he holds that we should really follow what the Gemara says, because that's what the Mishabura says to do, and that's something that should be followed. However, if you look, the Orchos Rabbeinu quotes the Chazon Ish, and it says that the Chazon Ish personally, he kept his bed actually from east to west. And when people would ask him what position their personal bed should be in, sometimes he responded north to south, sometimes east to west. So it seems like there's not a real hakbara there. Also, the Stipler, while his wife was alive, he would sometimes change it from east to west, sometimes north to south. It depended on how much room he had. Okay, so also we see from there we don't have to be so particular about it. They quote Rosh Shlomo Zalman, that Rosh Shlomo Zalman himself wasn't particular about which direction. Therefore, it seems Diavad Kamaravit, a person could do whatever is easier. Okay, shkoyach.